Hello everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about something very useful for every English learner. How to start a conversation in English. If you are a beginner, you may sometimes feel nervous when you want to speak English with someone. You may know many English words, but when you meet someone, your mind suddenly becomes empty. You may think, what should I say? How do I start? What if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? Don't worry. This is completely normal. Many English learners feel the same way. The good news is that starting a conversation does not need difficult English. You don't need big words. You don't need perfect grammar. And you don't need to speak very fast. You only need some simple sentences and a little confidence. So today, let's learn how to do it step by step. First, remember one simple rule. Start small. You don't need to start with a long conversation. You can simply say, hi, or hello, or hey. These are very easy words, but they are the first step. Now imagine that you meet someone at school. You can say, hi, how are you? The person may answer, I'm good, thanks. How are you? You can say, I'm good too. That's it. You have already started a conversation. Let's practice. I will say, hi, how are you? Now you say, I'm good, thanks. How are you? Excellent. Let's try another one. Hello, how are you doing? You can answer, I'm doing well, thanks. Or, I'm pretty good. Or simply, good, thanks. All of these answers are natural. Now let's learn a very useful expression. How's it going? How's it going is a casual way to ask. How are you? For example, hey John, how's it going? You can answer, pretty good. How about you? Or, I'm doing great. Or, not bad. Let's practice one more time. Hey, how's it going? Pretty good. How about you? Great. Now, after saying hello, you can ask a simple question. One of the easiest questions is, what's your name? For example, hi, what's your name? My name is David. Nice to meet you, David. Nice to meet you too. Very simple. You can also introduce yourself first. For example, hi, I'm Alex. What's your name? This sounds friendly and natural. The other person might say, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. You can say, nice to meet you too. Now the conversation has started. But what should you say next? This is where many beginners become nervous. Don't worry. Just ask another easy question. For example, where are you from? The person might say, I'm from California. You can say, oh nice. I'm from Bangladesh. Then you can ask, do you like living there? See, one simple question can lead to another question. You don't need to prepare a long speech. You only need to listen to the other person's answer and ask something related to it. Let's look at another example. Imagine you are meeting someone at a coffee shop. You can say, hi. Hi. Is this seat taken? No, you can sit here. Thanks. Then you can say, do you come here often? The person may say, yeah, I come here sometimes. You can say, oh nice. I like this place too. Now you are having a conversation. Notice that the English is very simple. You don't need difficult vocabulary. You can use everyday English. Here are some useful questions you can remember. What do you do? Are you a student? Where are you from? Do you live around here? Is this your first time here? What do you like to do? What kind of music do you like? Do you like movies? What do you do in your free time? These questions can help you start conversations in many situations. But don't ask 10 questions one after another. That can feel like an interview. Instead, ask one question. Listen to the answer. Then ask a follow-up question. For example, where are you from? I'm from New York. Oh, nice. Have you lived there for a long time? Yes, I have. Do you like living there? Now the conversation is moving naturally. This is an important skill. Listen to the answer. Don't only think about what you want to say next. Listen to the other person. Their answer will often give you your next question. Let's practice another situation. Imagine you are in an English class. You sit next to a new student. You can say, "Hi, I'm Mike." "Hi, I'm Emma." "Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you too." "Are you new here?" "Yes, I am." "Oh, really? Where are you from?" "I'm from Chicago." "That's nice. Do you like the class?" "Yes, I do." See how easy it is? You started with, "Hi." "What's your name?" "Are you new here?" "Where are you from?" "Do you like the class?" You are not using complicated English. You are simply asking simple questions. Now remember something very important. Don't be afraid of mistakes. You may make grammar mistakes. You may forget a word. You may pronounce something incorrectly. That's okay. You are learning. Nobody becomes fluent without making mistakes. If you wait until your English is perfect before speaking, you may wait for a very long time. Start speaking with the English you know today. Even a small conversation is useful practice. So, let's remember our simple formula. Say hello. Ask a question. Listen to the answer. Ask another question. That's how you can start a conversation. Now say these sentences out loud. Hi, how are you? What's your name? Nice to meet you. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you like to do? Do you come here often? That's interesting. Really? Tell me more. Practice these sentences every day. Don't just read them. Say them aloud. Imagine that you are talking to a real person. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become. And remember, you don't need perfect English to start a conversation. You just need a simple sentence, a friendly attitude, and the courage to speak. In the next part, we will learn how to keep a conversation going after you say hello. We will practice more real-life conversations and easy follow-up questions. So keep practicing, keep speaking, and don't be afraid of mistakes. See you in part 2. Welcome back to part 2 of our English podcast. In part 1, we learned how to start a conversation with simple greetings like hi, hello, and how are you? Now, let's learn something just as important. How do you keep a conversation going? This is a common problem for English beginners. You say, hi, how are you? The other person says, I'm good. And then you don't know what to say. Don't worry. There is a very simple way to continue a conversation. The secret is, listen to the answer and ask another simple question. Let's look at an example. Where are you from? The person says, I'm from California. You can say, oh, nice. Do you like living there? The person says, yes, I do. Then you can ask, what do you like about it? See, you don't need a new topic. You can use the person's answer to create your next question. This is called a follow-up question. Follow-up questions are very useful in English conversations. Let's practice another example. You say, what do you do? The person says, I'm a student. You can ask, oh, nice. What do you study? The person says, I study business. You can say, that's interesting. Do you enjoy it? Now the conversation is moving naturally. You can also use short expressions to show interest. For example, oh, really? That's interesting. That's nice. That's great. Wow. Tell me more. These expressions are simple, but they make conversations sound more natural. Let's try a conversation about hobbies. You say, what do you like to do in your free time? The person says, I like watching movies. You can ask, oh, really? What kind of movies do you like? The person says, I like comedy movies. You can say, that's nice. What's your favorite comedy movie? The person answers. Then you can share something about yourself. For example, I like comedy movies too. I usually watch them on weekends. Now you can ask another question. What movies have you watched recently? This is how a conversation becomes longer. Remember this simple pattern. Ask, listen, respond, ask again. Let's practice it. Question. What kind of music do you like?
Answer.
I like pop music. Response. Oh, nice. I like pop music too. Follow-up question. Who's your favorite singer? This is a very easy conversation pattern. Now let's talk about another useful question. What about you? This question is very important. For example, I live in New York. What about you? I live in Boston. I like coffee. What about you? I prefer tea. I usually watch movies on weekends. What about you? I usually read books. You can use what about you almost anywhere. Another useful expression is how about you? It has almost the same meaning. For example, what do you do? I'm a student. How about you? I'm a teacher. Very simple. Now let's imagine you are at a coffee shop. There is a person sitting next to you. You can say, "Hi, is this seat taken?" The person says, "No, it's free." You say, "Thanks." Then you can ask, "Do you come here often?" The person says, "Yeah, sometimes." You can say, "Oh, nice. I like this coffee shop." Then ask, "What do you usually order?" The person says, "I usually get a latte." You can say, "That's nice. I usually get black coffee." Now you are having a friendly conversation. Notice something important. You are not trying to sound intelligent. You are not using difficult words. You are simply talking about the situation around you. This is a great way to start conversations. If you are at a coffee shop, talk about coffee. If you are in a class, talk about the class. If you are waiting for a bus, talk about the bus. If you are at a party, talk about the party. The situation can give you your first topic. Let's practice another situation. Imagine you are in an English class. You sit next to a new student. You say, "Hi, I'm James." The student says, "Hi, I'm Maria." You say, "Nice to meet you, Maria." "Nice to meet you too." Then you ask, "Is this your first class?" "Yes, it is." "Oh, nice. Where are you from?" "I'm from Mexico." "That's great. Do you like the class?" "Yes, I do." "What do you like about it?" Now you have a conversation. It's that simple. You don't need to memorize a long conversation. You only need to learn useful questions. Here are some questions you can practice. What do you do? Where are you from? What do you like to do? What kind of music do you like? Do you like movies? What do you do in your free time? Do you come here often? Is this your first time here? What do you think about this place? These questions are easy and useful. But remember, don't ask too many questions one after another. If you ask question after question without sharing anything, the conversation can feel like an interview. So, ask questions and share information about yourself too. For example, what kind of food do you like? I love Italian food. Oh, nice. I like Italian food too. I especially love pizza. Then ask, what is your favorite Italian dish? This sounds more natural. Now let's talk about mistakes. When you speak English, you will make mistakes. Maybe you forget a word. Maybe your grammar is not perfect. Maybe your pronunciation is not perfect. That's okay. Don't stop speaking because of a small mistake. Your goal is communication. You don't need perfect English to have a good conversation. For example, if you say, "What you do?" The correct sentence is, "What do you do?" But even if you make the mistake, the other person will probably understand you. Keep speaking. With practice, your grammar will improve. Your pronunciation will improve. And your confidence will improve. So, today's most important lesson is this. Don't worry about finding the perfect sentence. Listen to the other person. Take one word or idea from their answer. Then ask a simple follow-up question. For example, I love traveling. Oh, really? Where have you traveled? I went to Japan last year. Wow. How was your trip? It was amazing. What did you like most about Japan? That's a natural conversation. So remember, listen, respond, and keep going. In the next part, we will practice more real-life conversations and learn how to talk to strangers in different situations. Keep practicing, speak slowly, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. See you in part 3. Welcome to the final part of our English podcast. Today, we have been learning how to start and continue a conversation in English. Now, let's put everything together and practice some real-life situations. Remember, you don't need perfect English to talk to people. You only need simple words, simple questions, and confidence. Let's begin. Imagine you are at a party. You see someone you don't know. You smile and say, "Hi, I'm Daniel. What's your name?" The person says, "Hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you." You say, "Nice to meet you too." Then you can ask, "How do you know the host?" The person says, "We work together." You can say, "Oh, really? Where do you work?" "I work at a bank." "That's interesting. Do you like your job?" "Yes, I do." "That's great. What do you like most about it?" See how easy that is? You started with a greeting. Then you asked a simple question. You listened to the answer. Then you asked another question based on that answer. This is the basic structure of a good conversation. Now let's try another situation. Imagine you are traveling. You are waiting at an airport. Someone is sitting next to you. You can say, "Excuse me, is this seat free?" "Yes, it is." "Thanks." Then you can say, "Are you traveling somewhere?" "Yes, I'm going to New York." "Oh, nice. Is it your first time there?" "No, I've been there before." "Really? Do you like New York?" "Yes, I love it." "What do you like most about the city?" Now you are having a conversation. Again, the English is simple. You don't need complicated sentences. You can talk about the place, the weather, food, travel, hobbies, movies, music, school, or work. There are many easy topics. Now let's practice talking about the weather. The weather is one of the easiest conversation topics. You can say, "It's really hot today." "It's a beautiful day today." "It's pretty cold today." The other person might say, "Yes, it is." You can continue. "I hope it gets cooler tomorrow." "Do you like hot weather?" The person may answer, "Not really. I prefer cold weather." Then you can say, "Me too. I love winter." A simple comment about the weather can become a conversation. Now let's talk about another important thing. Ending a conversation. Sometimes you need to leave. Maybe you have work. Maybe you have a class. Maybe you need to go somewhere. You can end the conversation politely. For example, "It was nice talking to you." "I enjoyed talking with you." "Nice meeting you." "I have to go now, but it was great talking to you." "See you later." "Have a great day." These are very useful expressions. Let's practice. "Hey, it was really nice talking to you." "Yeah, nice talking to you too." "I have to go now." "Have a great day." Bye. That's a natural way to finish a conversation. Now, let's review everything we learned. When you meet someone, start with a simple greeting. "Hi." "Hello." "Hey." Then ask a simple question. For example, "How are you?" "What's your name?" "Where are you from?" "What do you do?" Then listen carefully. Don't think too much about your next sentence. Listen to what the person says. Their answer can give you your next question. For example, "I'm from Canada." "Oh, nice. Which part of Canada?" "Toronto." "That's great. Do you like living there?" This is how you keep a conversation going. You can also use, "Oh, really? That's interesting." "That's nice." "Wow. Tell me more." "How about you?" "What about you?" These small expressions are very helpful. Now, I want you to practice a complete conversation. Imagine you meet someone for the first time. You say, "Hi, how are you?" The person says, "I'm good, thanks." "How are you?" You say, "I'm good too. My name is Alex." "What's your name?" The person says, "I'm John. Nice to meet you." You say, "Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?" The person says, "I'm from Texas." You say, "Oh, nice. Do you like living there?" The person says, "Yes, I do." You say, "That's great. What do you like to do in your free time?" The person says, "I like playing soccer and watching movies." You say, "Really? I like movies too. What kind of movies do you like?" The person says, I like action movies. You say, that's nice. What's your favorite movie? And the conversation continues. You can see that every question is simple. You don't need advanced English. You don't need a huge vocabulary. You just need to be interested in the other person. And this is perhaps the most important lesson from today's podcast. A good conversation is not about speaking perfect English. It is about connecting with another person. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid of your accent. Don't be afraid to speak slowly. If you forget a word, use another word. If you make a grammar mistake, keep going. If you don't understand something, say, sorry, could you say that again? Or, could you speak a little more slowly? These are perfectly normal things to say. Remember, every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Nobody starts perfect. You become better by speaking. So, starting today, try to have one small English conversation every day. It can be with a friend. It can be with a teacher. It can be with a classmate. You can even practice alone. Stand in front of a mirror and say, Hi, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? What do you like to do? How about you? Practice these sentences until they feel natural. Then slowly add new questions. Your confidence will grow little by little. Don't try to become fluent in one day. Just become a little better every day. One sentence today. One conversation tomorrow. One new word every day. That's how you improve. So, let's say our final reminder together. Start simple. Speak slowly. Listen carefully. Ask questions. Show interest. Don't be afraid of mistakes. And most importantly, keep speaking English. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I hope this lesson helped you feel more confident about starting conversations in English. If you enjoyed this lesson, keep practicing with us. And remember, you don't need perfect English to start talking. You just need to take the first step. So the next time you meet someone, don't stay silent. Call and say, Hi, how are you? That's all you need to begin. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep speaking English. See you in the next episode.